Welcome back to Louisiana Newsmaker. State Representative Walt III, a Democrat, does a great job for his district, for the city, and for the region. He is really one of the best and brightest of the young legislators that we've sent up to Baton Rouge. And I really think we've got a pretty good delegation.
Absolutely, I think so too. I think we've been working really well together. We've accomplished a lot over the last couple of years, brought home some, I think, important projects to our city and to the region. Obviously, we have strong leadership at the top. We have the Speaker of the House from New Orleans, and we previously had the Speaker Pro Tem, Karen Carter Peterson, before she switched over to the Senate. And otherwise, I think we've got some extremely impressive legislators from our area that work very hard and work well together.
What did you think of the recent session?
Honestly, I thought it went a lot better than projected. Certainly in our area, we had a lot of successes, and personally, I think I had some things that went very well in the session.
Including?
Some of the things that were really important to me going in, we're trying to make sure that our city had the tools necessary to deal with the blight problem that we continue to face. And
by the way, that's a problem we've been struggling with for 50 years, trying to get legislation that would allow people to quickly take possession, get a title to, and take possession of blighted property. It's
something that you always have to try to find the right balance between, the taking of property that is blighted and the respect that's demanded by our Constitution and
for the property owner. And so, even though he or she may have disappeared and be virtually unfindable,
that's generally the problem. I went there this year. I had a constitutional amendment that passed, and that hopefully the voters will vote on in October, and will accept that amendment to the Constitution. And basically what it'll do is it'll allow that once the property is seized, because it is a threat to public health or safety, which is also known as blight, that the municipality or local government won't have to first offer the property back to the landowner before selling it.
Which has been the hang-up for 50 years.
It's been a huge problem. As you said, a lot of times the people are absentee, and it's very difficult to find them. And so you go through this onerous process to expropriate that property through a judicial proceeding. You accomplish that. You clean it up and make it safe so that you can put it back into commerce, and then you're required again to go through the onerous process of finding that person again and saying, look, would you like to buy the property back? And when they do, you very well know that they may once again put it in a blighted condition, that you have to go through this process over again.
It shows how old I am that in the 1960s, then Mayor Vic Sciro appointed a commission to do the very thing that your constitutional amendment, and they couldn't get it through the legislature. There was too much concern about the rights of the homeowner, even though the homeowner may have allowed the property to become blighted and then have disappeared besides.
Well, I think what's important to note is we got it through the legislature, and it goes to the people for a vote. And I hope that the people will take the opportunity to take a look at it and understand what it does. It's a very narrow exception. I think it takes the right approach and the right balance between what property owners should expect to have in the way of property rights, and it also requires that you measure some sort of responsibility on those people, and so that they know that if they don't do what they're supposed to, that there is an appropriate and speedy remedy to get those properties back into commerce and into the hands of somebody who's going to handle it appropriately.
There's a home across the street from me that is completely blighted. There's rats and snakes inside, and we haven't been able to find the homeowner. And it's not that the property is unsaleable. If it were up for sale, we could probably have 10 or 15 willing buyers within a couple of hours. It's just that under the current rules, you just can't really move the property.
Well, and I think that these are the right tools in the toolbox to get the job done, and hopefully the people agree and vote to support this, and we can move forward and start handling these things in a more expeditious manner.
Well, I really think that what you're trying to do is a historic initiative. If you're successful and the people vote yes on the amendment, it would really change this whole problem. We have almost 50,000 pieces of blighted property in Orleans Parish right now.
That's absolutely correct, yeah, you know, and probably 100,000 in the state as a whole. And so, I hope when people go into the ballot box, they check that one off, and we make sure that we can adequately deal with those problems. I know in where I live in the Irish Channel, it continues to be an issue, and also in the Ferret neighborhood and
Sure.
other parts of Uptown that were severely
This will
damaged
be on the
by
ballot
storm.
November 4th,
It'll be on the ballot for the general election.
which is November.
Right.
Well, I really congratulate you on that piece of legislation. Will you stick around? I'd like to talk to you a little bit about New Orleans and where we are and what the future might hold for our city.
Absolutely.
Please stay tuned. That's State Representative Walt Leger III. We really always enjoy having him on Louisiana Newsmaker, and we'll have some more questions for him in just a moment. We'll be right back.